Insert Shortsy the same way, but this time pull it down to line 2, the middle line, and stay there. And cut the hair okay, I'm overlapping the cut part and go to the right. Doing the same thing as before. Pull it down and put it in the middle line and cut the hair that is sticking out. Always go back and check hair with free hand. Trim off the uneven part accordingly. I'm cutting this part first. You comb the hair out. And insert Shortsy the same way. But this time, you go all the way down to the last line, the bottom line. And you cut the hair that's sticking out. Overlapping the hair before, and go to the right. And take another part of hair out and do the same thing. You can move the hair a little bit to look at the guideline. Now I have finished the haircut and go back to check it. Just trim off the uneven part. This is the finished haircut. This is Marie with a finished haircut. Since her bangs were fine, I didn't cut them. This is Phyllis. I'm going to give her a layer cut, shorter at the nape and longer on the top. The leg numbers are in her hair pattern number 10 in the book. I divide the first big section below the ear line into 3 equal parts and use Shortsy to cut her hair. The yo-yet is a handy tool. You can divide and clip hair with it. You always cut hair from left to right if you are right-handed. Insert Shortsy as close to the hair roots as possible, so hair is evenly spread in the comb. For people who have coarse hair, don't cut the hair too short, because shorter coarse hair tends to stick out. You do the same thing over and over again. Then I divide this middle section into 2 equal parts. This is section 4. When you come to this part, you should be very careful to turn the comb because you're working close to her eye. Now I come to the crown. I divide the crown into halves. Start cutting from the front, like this. When you are finishing the crown, you should be cutting back to the front again. This is the finished cut. This is Phyllis with a finished style. This is Randy. His haircut is a typical men's short haircut. His pattern is exactly like number 3 pattern in the book, except the bottom leg of the first section is number 2. I am using Shortsy B to cut this section. For section 2, the top leg is number 4 and the bottom leg is number 3. Instead of using Shortsy B, I will be using Shortsy for the rest of the haircut. For section 3, the top leg is number 5 and the bottom leg is number 4. Always stand right behind the strand of hair that you are cutting. Please read the tips for good hair cutting in the book. I have come to the crown section. I'm using a pair of number 5 legs to cut around this part and the top. I part the top into halves. If it is narrow enough, cut without parting. To cut with a pair of same size legs is easy. You can cut any way you want, as long as it stands right on the hair root of the hair you are cutting. Comb hair down, trim on top of the ear. Make sure wet the hair a lot. Then comb hair to the front. Also, comb hair at the back to the front too. Cut the side upward at 45 degrees. Start from where you want to have the sideburn. Then cut hair around the back of the ear like this. After this, comb all the hair to the back. And trim the sideburn around the ear. Do the same thing on this side. Comb hair down, trim on top of the ear. Then comb hair to the front. Cut the side upward at 45 degrees. Start from where you want to have the sideburn. Then cut hair around the back of the ear. After this, comb all the hair to the back. And trim the sideburn around the ear. Cut a straight line across the back of the neck. Use a trimmer to clean up the neck. This is Randy with the finished haircut. This is Willie, ready for his haircut. I'm using Shortsy B to cut this section, with top leg number 3 and bottom leg 0. That means do not use any leg at the bottom. You should be very careful when cutting this part with scissors pointing down close to the neck. If you have any doubt cutting this way, you should cut this section with scissors pointing upward. Shortsy was used for the rest of this haircut. If the last section is narrow enough, cut without parting. You can cut from the back to the front. Then check with free hand to see if you have missed cutting any hair. Comb hair down on the side. Trim around the ear like this. You don't need to comb hair to the front and cut at 45 degrees because his hairstyle is longer than Randy's. After trimming around the ear, comb hair back and check sideburn. His sideburn is fine. I'm doing the same thing on this side. This is the finished haircut. This is Willie with the style haircut. This is Renee. Renee is going to have a rounded bob and angle size forward onto her cheeks and with some wispies at the nape. I section Renee's hair into the 3 big sections first, leaving section 1 and comb it down. After sectioning, I put a tape around Renee from one side of the ear to the other to use as a guide. I start cutting Renee's nape with a pair of number 9 and cut horizontally, like this, using the guide line, the bottom one. Then I go to the right, overlapping a little bit of the cut hair, and do the same thing. Comb out an inch wide hair and insert Shortsy the same way, using the same guideline, the bottom one.